Time and time again on YouTube, I hear that you absolutely need an everyday camera to be inspired, to get you go out there, whether it is on dedicated videos as well as reading the comments. And I think that it's absolutely not true, and here is why. First of all, let's be real. This is an X-T5 and the X100VI is not much smaller. Of course, you're going to tell me that it is smaller, it is more compact. I agree with you. However, the size difference between the X-T5 and the X100VI is not that huge. Of course, you might get excited at first. You might think that, okay, it's completely different, it's so much smaller, etc. But over time, you will get used to it, and the size difference won't matter that much to you anymore. Now, don't get me wrong, I did try the X100VI myself. I received it from Fujifilm for test, and I enjoyed playing with it. I enjoyed creating amazing pictures with it. I am not saying that it is not a great camera and it is not fun to shoot. However, what I'm saying is that the size difference between the X-T5 and the X100VI is not a major difference. And if you're trying to get an everyday camera just to have basically that camera in your bag instead of the X-T5 with a, let's say, a 23mm f2, well, maybe at first you will feel like the X100VI is much better because it's newer, right? We buy something new and we feel that it's better and that it inspires us more. However, on the long run, trust me, it doesn't make such a big difference. The people that usually tell you that you need an everyday camera to be inspired and to keep shooting for fun are people who are usually shooting professionally, right? They are used to have big pieces of gears that they are kind of tired to carry around everywhere, right? Which is understandable. And they want to have something more fun, much smaller, more compact, that they can bring anywhere to just enjoy and take the pressure off of really taking the content or taking the pictures, etc. But those people are not exactly, maybe, I don't know who you are exactly because a lot of people might watch this video, but those people are not exactly like you. You might be someone that is just an enthusiast, right? And that just have, let's say, an X-T5 or an X-T50 or XS20 or anything, and is watching their videos and think that, oh, maybe I need an X100VI as well, that it would be something smaller that I can bring for some specific occasions. And I don't think that you do, honestly. You already have something that is small or compact, and even if you have an X-T5, that's small enough. That's more than enough in terms of small size, right? I don't think that you need to have an extra camera that is more compact in your case, right? Because you already have a compact kit. You already are an enthusiast, right? You don't need to have like 7 different pieces of kit depending on the occasion. That's more for the professional people. It doesn't necessarily apply to your case. So keep in mind that the people who give you those pieces of advice, they have different use cases, right? And I totally understand that, because sometimes when I bring my whole backpack with all my gear, I wish that I would bring less, or just, have something simple that I can just throw and take snapshots. But at the end of the day, when I think about it, it's just kind of a decision making on my side, right? Whether or not I just decide to bring one lens and one camera without a cage. At the end of the day, it's just a very small package. So keep that in mind. The people who give you those pieces of advice, they just have a different life, different requirements, and they are just looking for different kind of applications when it comes to have an everyday camera. Another point that I want to mention is decision fatigue, right? Let's say you already have a Fujifilm camera. I'm talking about Fujifilm right now because I do a lot of Fujifilm content on this channel, right? But it applies to any brand. And then you decide to buy an extra camera, let's say an X100V or an X100VI, right? At first you will bring this camera here and there, and you will, take pictures and enjoy it, right? There will come one point where you will start wondering, okay, should I bring just my X100V or X100VI, my everyday camera, or should I bring my, my camera with interchangeable lenses just in case I want to capture something else, right? And this will require more choices everywhere you go. And this will basically bring you to like a kind of a decision fatigue, right? Where you, every time you will go, you will think about, okay, what can I bring? The more gear you have, the more those questions will start popping up, right? What can I bring to capture this particular situation? And that kind of goes against the philosophy of the everyday camera, which is just bring that and you should be good to go. Just focus on enjoying the process, right? But at the end of the day, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, maybe that's just me, but from experience, that's usually what happens. People start thinking about, okay, should I bring this or that? And then it starts to get complicated, right? So instead of purchasing another camera, I would say stick with the camera that you have. Maybe get something smaller in terms of the lens for you to just bring that, right? And you don't need to think about too much after that. You have one camera, you bring that camera, you enjoy your day, and that's it. Now, I agree that everyday cameras are meant to enjoy the day and enjoy the process, right? But in my opinion, and that just maybe my opinion, they are also geared toward entry-level people who really want to get into a system. They are basically meant to attract you to that system, right? And kind of give you some interest into the brand, right? Fujifilm released the X100V for that, for enthusiasts who really want to get into photography and have something a little bit better than their phone to do so. But when I see a lot of comments online where people are asking me, I already have an X-T5, I have an X-H2S, should I get an X100V or an X100VI? I kind of feel like, okay, do you need to have that, honestly? Because you already have the X-T5 that is compact, that is more than capable to create the same kind of pictures that the X100VI and has extra functions compared to it, right? If you have an X-H2S, yes, you don't have the 40 megapixel, but it doesn't matter. So if you're a person who already has a camera and who already has a working piece of gear that they can work with, in my opinion, just having an X100V or an X100VI, or just, you know, an everyday camera as they call it, to carry around every day. Additionally, I don't think that it serves a purpose, honestly. You're better off investing that money into traveling or into a lens or into any accessory that will make your life better or anything that can make you extra money, right? In my opinion, on the long term, and I really want to emphasize that, on the long term, the everyday camera will not help you create better pictures. And finally, my final point is that yes, you've heard a lot about those everyday cameras, how great they are and how amazing they are to get you back into inspiration, etc. Right? But be conscious that those videos that you see, those TikTok videos that you see are all part of a marketing plan, right? It is not by mistake that those brands send those cameras to creators for them to experience with, and knowingly so, right? They send it to creators who are seeing kind of the same kind of cameras every day, big, bulky, with a lot of capabilities. And when they receive something smaller that they can just have fun with and that still can produce great pictures, they just enjoy it, right? And it's normal to enjoy it. But it doesn't mean that you, again, are in the same spot and that you absolutely need this camera and that without this camera you cannot create the same kind of pictures that that creator created. So be aware of that. Everything is marketing, right? People are trying to sell you things, and it's not because they tell you that you need it that you have to purchase it. Anyway, thank you for watching today's video. I hope that this was helpful and it was not too much of a rant, but I see that so many times, right? That you need this camera, you need that camera, why everybody needs an everyday camera, etc. But at the end of the day, as long as you have one camera and that you use it and that you go out and shoot and create, that's what matters, right? It doesn't matter if you use an X100V or if you use an XH2 or a Canon or a Nikon, etc. All that matters is that, yeah, you just enjoy the gear that you have and you actually use it. Alright, check out this video right here next, and I'll see you there.